Hi, I'm Ian Riñon, an independent alternative media practitioner, among other things. And today is a very special edition of Brood Banter. So tara, for for this morning only, kape tayo. The reason why is because later I'll be having some tea. And the reason why is because today is the 6th of May 2023. In the UK, there's going to be a very big event. They've been preparing this for a long time now, and that's the coronation of King Charles III. Now, uh, I just wanted to share this piece of thought na nasulat ko na dati. I've written this on the occasion of Christ the King Sunday in the Novus Ordo last year, and I think this is very much relevant now kasi uh, a lot of people have been debating about if monarchies are still relevant today, and if republics are the way to go when some republics have been dysfunctional for the longest time. And I guess the synthesis that I wanted to share at this point is that no matter who's in charge or what kind of institution is in charge of a country, I think there's more to that. And this is the reason why I shared this essay of mine called On Kings and Dictators. Now, uh, other than some few adjustments to the way I say it, I'm going to link the original essay in the Facebook description below. So, Christ the King Sunday is always celebrated by the Catholic Church either at the last Sunday of October for the old form of the mass, or the last or as the last Sunday of the liturgical year for the new form of the mass. Many talk about the social kingship of Christ and why it matters, and frankly, rightfully so. However, in order to fully understand this concept, we must realize, first of all, that a monarchy means the submission of one's will and consent of tongue, heart, and mind to the will of a benevolent monarch, given that he or she would act in the common good. There is no perfect example of such in our history, and so out of necessity, we as a people take matters into our own hands. And in the case of the Philippines, we have done that over 100 years ago. Sadly, though, even republics that were established under the guiding principle of self rule and self determination are tainted with their own, dare I say, distorted version of monarchy, which we call dictatorships. History has its own share of dictators. From Cromwell to Robespierre, from Hitler to Stalin, from Mao to Kim to Pol Pot, and so on. With this desperate search for good governance, some sadly turn to ideologies that not only promote a certain thought as some sort of king, but also considers all kinds of non-adherents as scums, bigots, fascists, and bootlickers. And so the cycle repeats. But this time it is no longer leaning to the left or to the right, nor forwards or backwards. And we as Catholics, at the very least, gaze upwards. Since Christ, in his immense love for man, became man to take the form of a slave, a servant, a subject, or a commoner, to save mankind from the slavery of sin and death, himself dying in the most shameful way possible, and we are basically commemorating it, commemorating his victory over that. Now that we're in Eastertide, those who believe in him now proclaims him king. But he is not any ordinary king. He is the King of Kings, the paramount ruler of the universe. But you may say, Jesus is no king. He is a revolutionary, an activist, the leader of the resistance against both the Jewish establishment and Rome. Point taken on the third description. While it can be historically plausible, suffice it to say that the first and second labels basically pervert what Holy Writ has described Jesus of. While Christ has come to earth not with peace but with a sword, he explicitly stated that his kingdom is not of this world, and certainly not how we look at kingdoms and monarchies. Our human understanding of kings is but an estimation of what those who wear crowns and titles should do. At the same time, our understanding of citizen presidents and our whole concept of servant leadership is overstated to a high degree. At best, both king and president are benevolent leaders who lead their nations to victory. At worst, they are tyrants who contribute to a nation's downfall. And so, this begs the question, who is the best model for a ruler? And for Christians, the answer is absolutely obvious. This king, enthroned in this throne, Jesus Christ, enthroned in the throne of the cross. There are many examples in the Gospels of how he manifested his royal behavior in his 33 years on this earth that, if enumerated, would only make this piece longer than it should be. And honestly, I was struggling to make that this essay that I wrote as concise as possible at during the time I wrote it. But aside from the fulfillment of the royal prophecies of old, Jesus' overarching message of salvation and eternal life makes his divinity as the Son of God and his nobility as the Son of David known. So, in conclusion, as we reflect this thought on this very historic day, let us consider about why the Son of Man is King, why Jesus Christ is King. It is not just because he came from the line of David, and it is not because he conquered Israel and asserted its independence from Rome. What makes Christ king in his own right is because he is who he is, the God and ruler of heaven and earth, whose greatest conquest is the victory over death itself. This actually mocks the concept of death. So, dear believers, raise a glass to the King of Kings. And I also raise a toast to uh, everyone else out there who's gonna be watching the whole coronation ceremony, especially to our British friends and our Commonwealth friends. Cheerio to you, mates. And after this, I promise you, I'll be drinking tea. So, uh, good luck and have a good one. Cheers. That's the last cup of coffee for today. And with all that said, this is Intrepid and Riñon reminding you to at all times be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Until then, look alive, stay alive, be kind to yourself and to each other, and hail Christ the King. As always, thank you for watching. From here in Intrepid HQ, see you next time. Ian out.